Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Every time I start talking about boxing, a white man got full rockin' my gun out there.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Oh, this hard goddamn work being this good.
One more again, see what I take on your front set, I swear.
You ain't my daddy, are you?
There's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
What time is it?
Game time, proof.
Okay, welcome to the Don't Be Blasé podcast. I'm your host, Speed Caruana, joined as always by my man, Steve Burrows.
Hello there.
Now we're coming to you live again from the House of Pleasure, otherwise known as my little one-bedroom apartment in Norwood. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Larry and Lad. Go see the boys in Region Arcade, get yourself an awesome coffee and listen to pretty sweet tunes. But for now, on with the show. And today's show is it's been a long time coming. There was a film, a cinematic masterpiece, as Steve was describing it, that I had to watch, and I have just sat through it, and we have just had our first ever screening of MacGruber.
Yeah.
Now, Steve,
90 minutes of glorious comedy.
just fill the people in. Tell us a bit more about MacGruber.
So
Before I rip it to fucking shreds.
Alright. For those the uninitiated, MacGruber is a story about an ex, I guess he's like a Navy SEAL type of guy, like a Special Forces dude, who whose wife was murdered by like the resident bad guy, who's played by Val Kilmer.
Very well played by Val.
Yeah. So he goes off. I don't, obviously we'll try to avoid spoilers because I'm sure you'll.
Because you don't want to fucking ruin
You do
this
not
piece.
want to miss this out. So yeah, basically what happens is Val Kilmer, who plays Dieter von Kampf, murders the wife to be, and so then MacGruber goes into not into hiding, into isolation for 10 years, and then the American military want him back because they've got wind that Dieter von Kampf has got himself, what's it called, M5 or something? What's it called?
Nuclear warhead.
It's a nuclear warhead, that's right. And so they need to get MacGruber back. And then that's how the film starts.
I'm going to cut you. Your description of the film was about as interesting as the actual film.
That's what it was, though, wasn't it? That's right.
That's the plot. That's the premise.
It is a comedy.
It is a comedy.
Well,
it's meant to be a comedy.
It's sparked from a couple skits from Saturday Night Live.
And this is my problem. I mean, as Steve wanted me to love this movie, and there was bits of it that I did enjoy. And like, I will give it some credit. It has one of the better soundtracks I've ever heard in a movie. It's got all the sort of B-side 80s hits, and like not your classic 80s hits, but yeah, you've just got some really good sort of
soft rock,
yeah, some real mixed 102.3, and some real bad sort of cheesy 80s movie, like one of the pinnacle scenes, a bit of Broken Wings playing. I was a bit of fan of Mr. Mister.
How good's that scene?
It was terrible. But the music did save several parts of the movie. But the movie is one of those classic Saturday Night Live sketches they try to turn into a film. Now, it has a great premise. There's a couple of real funny scenes. But then as far as a whole story and tying it together and then wrapping it into a little bow, as it should be for a movie, falls well below standard of just what any human should watch.
I think. Look, it is. I think it's meant to be a bit of poking fun at itself.
Like, I'm all
man.
for the, you get your ones like your Night of the Roxbury.
Yes.
It's the dorky characters that you fall in love with. This one is just so irritatingly bad that has no redeeming qualities. And you just find yourself getting frustrated. Like, okay, I understand that he's supposed to be annoying, but it's just really just bugging me. Like,
what's bugging me is that I'm gonna put it out to you guys. Spee had a big night last night.
I'm very dusty, man.
He's grumpy as man. He's grumpy as.
I wasn't that grumpy.
His text
I
message
watched that 90 minutes of crap.
His text messages usually are pretty short with me anyway. They were shorter than short, so I was like, I think he had a big night last night, or is he just super grumpy?
No,
man?
I just had a very big night. Oh.
Yeah, so he gets. So I rock up. I roll into the house of pleasure.
Yeah.
And he's topless. His eyes are half away, and I knew this was a bad time to put MacGruber on.
You know what? Any time of day, any day of the week, is a bad time to put MacGruber on. And I have just had a conversation with Steve about this. You have made several friends watch this.
Anyone who's that's right. Look, I said to you at the start of the film, there's going to have some bad bit. There's going to be some, common denominator.
Some bad bits.
There's going to be some they got to appeal to the lowest common denominator. I get that. But then there's some genius bits
Because it was so highbrow for the rest of it.
Look, there's a lot of times that I could see at the corner of my eye because we kind of made an agreement that I wouldn't preempt any laughs.
Yep.
And when I knew that there's some comedy gold coming up.
I wish you would have preempted some laughs, actually, in hindsight, because then I may have known what was funny.
But there was a lot of times I could see he turned his head towards me and laughed, but I had to keep that poker face because I didn't want to turn him either way. I wanted him to. But the thing is, he's still I'm totally distracted by his massive calf here, by the way. He's wearing short shorts and he's got this massive vein. I keep looking at it.
On topic, Steve.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
No, you're staring at my veins. This is going to take this conversation to a very weird place, mate.
We need broken wings to play now. But yeah, he's just not in the right frame of mind.
See, I like how you...
He didn't even have a beer the whole time we're watching it. He's now pulled out a cider.
I'm hungover, so I'm not getting into too many drinks today. But it's just the whole thing of you're playing the man, not the ball. You know what I mean? You're now turning it into there was something wrong with me.
There is some crunchy peanut butter. Are you serious?
Okay.
I thought that was a gimmick in the 1990s. I didn't even know it still happened, by the way.
And we put that to the poll, and you found out. Apparently, it turns out both of us are wrong. Apparently, you don't put peanut butter on first, and you just have crunchy. So your just smooth argument out the window, and my peanut butter and butter combination also out the window. So it turns out all the 16 listeners.
Have we dropped some?
I think we lost a couple.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
But you're all wrong. So
yeah. Who's wrong here?
I don't know.
Yeah, someone's wrong.
But I can tell you who's not wrong.
Yeah, MacGruber's not
me
wrong.
when it comes to MacGruber. Now, I don't know if we said we don't do facts. Facts don't matter. But I would like you to look up, just in your own time.
Yep.
Look up the Rotten Tomatoes reviews.
Oh, no. I'm not going to... That's rubbish, man.
IMDb.
People
that
morons post on
enjoy
that.
cinema and film. And they review it. And they give 5 stars to films like Shawshank Redemption. And they give nothing to MacGruber.
Well, no, but that's not fair.
But, okay, if you had to rank that in the sort of the annals of the Saturday Night Live movies...
Yeah.
Where would you put it? Because that would be somewhere down the bottom. I could think of at least 4 or 5 off the top of my head.
Okay, name them then.
You've got Neither Roxbury.
All right, so comparative to Neither Roxbury.
Neither Roxbury pisses all over that movie.
Only because I think you think you're from Neither. You think you're the dude rocks up in a yellow Lamborghini from 21 Jump Street.
What's his name?
Greco, is it?
Yeah.
What's that dude's name?
Richard Grieco.
You think you are Richard Grieco. That's why you like that film.
I was more of a John Stamos man myself. But no, there's Neither Roxbury.
That was okay.
There's Ladies Man.
Oh, that was dreadful.
No, Ladies Man was better than that. It was better than MacGruber.
Nah, no.
Oh, no.
What's his name? Who's the guy who plays Ladies Man?
Tim Meadows.
His funniest ever scene is in Mean Girls when he's a principal.
He's a principal, yeah.
And he says that basically if you don't come up, we can cancel prom. And then he checks back and he goes like, well, actually, no, we won't because we've put the $500 deposit down. That's the funniest one he's ever done.
He's really good at that movie, But no, that Ladies Man movie was better than that.
No. Oh, anyway, keep going. Okay.
Okay, so
what else is there?
What else is there? Is well, Popstar. You give that one.
Oh, is that the girl one? Where
no. Popstar's the Andy Samberg, where he plays.
I didn't see that one.
That's very funny.
Yeah, I'm sure
that's
it is.
More Lonely Island, more sort of, that sort of vein. But I always consider most Andy Samberg movies to be somewhat Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. What was that one? The girl, remember? And she used to sniff her armpit. She was the one from. She was the one.
The cheerleader one.
Yeah, she's from. She's obviously she's 30 or something, but she's playing a school student and she's very awkward.
Yeah.
And I thought it was called Pop Star, but it's something...
No, Superstar.
Superstar.
Yeah, where she's like a cheerleader.
Yeah, and she's awkward as and she keeps sniffing her armpit.
That one I didn't enjoy. That one was not a favourite of mine. But yeah, that was, I don't know, just some of those like sketches. Like I've always had an issue with Saturday Night Live. Like it's funny. There's points to it, and there's things that come out of it, but then it doesn't seem to ever go anywhere.
Yeah,
they don't seem to know how to wrap the story up.
There's a really funny scene, and I was actually expecting. It was one of the reason why I started watching this in the first place. So how it came about was you're flicking channels.
Yeah.
And I saw all the wrestlers in the film. Yeah. And so I had to sit down and watch it, and I sat down and watched. I was like, I've got to back support the guys, and I watched it, and I loved it. So
they appreciated your support, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know if they got paid for it. Yeah. So
didn't want to get paid for that.
But anyway, there was a scene in the film that I actually really thought Speed was going to really enjoy. So what happens is that he's recruiting his team. Oh. Okay, so and it's very, very cliche. It's very like 80s, and he's like, he's got the rock music in the background, and he goes sees Chris Jericho. They have a bit of a yarn, and he ticks his name off the list. Yeah. Then he goes and sees.
Just a side note, one of the worst acting performances I've ever seen from Chris Jericho. I know you're a wrestler, and you're not a strong suit in your acting, but that was just, I know it's supposed to be cheesy and cliche, but this was just it was just bad. It was like watching a high school performance. It was really bad. It was like waiting for someone to turn and look for their mum in the crowd. Like, it was terrible.
Well, I thought it was hilarious. And anyway, so they tick his name, and then he sees Mark Henry and a few other wrestlers, and they tick his names off, and they're all doing like kind of cliche thing. One's a construction worker, one's an army guy, one's a one
bumping knuckles,
bumping the knuckles,
doing the Carl Weathers Schwarzenegger handshake.
Cool, exactly. So if you're not laughing now, I don't know what's wrong with you right now. Just the thought of it. But the last thing was hilarious because it says Big Show. He's like an auto mechanic, and he's sitting there, and he's got like an assistant comes up and gives him a drink, and then what happens is that he gives him a drink, and then they start kissing, and you see poor old MacGruber go, what? Unexpected, and then he goes to the notepad and vigorously scribbles his name out. That in itself, obviously, I probably didn't explain it very well, but see, I actually looked at Rocky like, no, that's a funny scene, and he just kind of wasn't.
I don't find.
I blame the hangover.
I know. I just don't find it's funny because he's gay thing very funny.
I don't try to be political.
No, it's not a political thing. Yeah. I just don't think it's that funny. And like that's why I understand the character and how it works in the story of the movie, but I just didn't think that was that funny.
I thought it was funny.
It was a real it's. We were discussing the difference between like English comedy and American comedy. Right. That was just that real obvious, like, it's the big guy and the big guy.
Yeah.
Gay. It's like, ugh. You can see that joke coming from.
But wasn't that he was gay? That was funny. It was the fact that MacGruber, who obviously was looking for this big, hard and tough team, and then unfortunately for him, one of these guys turns out to be gay, and he scribbles the name out. It's just. It's the thought process behind that, which makes it funny.
I get the thought process. I think you're trying to explain it like it's some sort of artistic masterpiece, some great creative setup punchline or something.
I thought it
just wasn't that funny.
Really? Well, I think you're wrong. Look, you and your crunchy peanut butter. I can go and watch.
Well, we're going to have some crunchy peanut butter because that's a great thing for hangover.
Oh, brother. Well, please, because you're in such a filthy mood all day. I need you to.
Well, I thought, you coming over, we'll have a couple of drinks, and we'll watch a film.
Oh, we will have a couple of drinks.
Yeah, well, I'm having one. There we go. I had more than one last night, and I'm not feeling too great today. But it's just, I just thought, okay, I'll give it a chance. It had everything, the ideas that I liked. I really did enjoy the car.
How good was that?
So he has cool. like an old school, like a little like Mazda convertible, like a real shit, like basically
like your mum would drive.
Yeah. But then he has the one gimmick I liked throughout the entire movie is that he has the CD player, like the old school CD player that you had to like take out.
You clipped it out.
Yeah, you clip it out and then you push it back in, and he just carries it with him in every scene. Now that I thought was very good. Like, I give you credit for that whole sequence with his little every scene he just pulls the CD player out. And he's walking around and they don't lose it. Every scene he's in, pretty much, you see him carrying this CD player, and I thought it's a good gimmick. It's a good little.
And even when she dressed it up as MacGruber,
she carries the CD player. So I thought it was very good. I thought that was very good.
And that was good. And the setup, I thought once again, we don't want to ruin it for you guys because you're probably out there looking for it now on Netflix. But there's a scene where the setup for the car. So they made the setup for the car like it's a big thing. So he goes to his graveyard and pulls out all of his old clothes that he wore back 10 years ago. and he has a punch in a coat and get his keys with I think it's like a bunny foot or something.
Lucky rabbit's foot, yeah.
Like rabbit foot. And then you've got that dirty South rock.
And big reveal, like it's under the cloth, and he slowly pulls it off.
Yeah, that's right. It's all red, and then he's got the light flicks up. The pop up light, and then all of a sudden you see the tape cassette and it says Rock, 102, and then he changes it to his other preset,
8075,
and then Toto Rosanna comes on,
which is a good song.
And then it reveals them. At that point, you think it might be like this tough,
there you go. That means that Toto has 3 songs.
They got Rosanna.
Yeah.
They got obviously Africa.
Yeah.
And they got Hold the Line. Is that them?
Yeah.
Hold the Line. Yeah, that's Killer song. Yeah.
Love Isn't Always on Time.
Yeah, that's a great song.
So I completely forgot that was Toto as well.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that movie is
3 tracks. So their greatest hits almost became viable.
Well, it's almost like I used to have a few records, except record player, that sort of thing. And I bought ZZ Top.
Okay.
And I was at the record store and I was like, hang on, Dick, they got ZZ Top's greatest hits, or I could buy ZZ Top Eliminator.
Right.
And Eliminator is the album that has Give Me All Your Lovin', Legs, and Sharp Dressed Man. I'm like, well, that's all you really need from ZZ. I don't know if they had any other greatest hits.
Tush was a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few good ones. I got them on my iPod.
I had those 3 and that was all I needed. That really got me through.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's a great scene. Very funny, and I'd love for you to check it out. It's probably on. You know how YouTube, how you can go find the
random scenes.
Yeah. That's probably one.
I don't think anyone has actually gone to the effort of ripping that off a DVD and then uploading that. I don't think anyone would have actually gone.
Really?
Yeah, it's not that funny.
Wow, I don't. Now this presents a whole bigger conversation. Is because Speed tries to toe the line, and he says, I don't like 2.5 Men and stuff like that. But I'm starting to think he probably did chuckle at 2.5 Men once in a while, because
I think everything there can be funny scenes in anything. Like there's I even watched. I think I laughed once in a scene of 2.5 Men when they had Ashton Kutcher on.
Oh wow, that wasn't even the good stuff.
I know, exactly. Right? That's like you can still get every now and then. Like a dead clock's right twice a day. So you can get some funny things. I never say anything like blanket. Nah, not funny. Like this movie, for the most part, terrible. No, but there was moments that I did enjoy.
Have you seen the film Hot Rod?
Yes.
Andy Samberg?
Yes.
What do you think of that?
It was funny.
That was funny.
Yeah, it was good.
That to me, because
you're not going to compare that to Hot Rod. Hot Rod, that just creams that movie.
But I think we need to watch it again together because when you're hungover,
so much.
when you're hungover, because
stop inviting yourself over. You're not allowed to drink at home, eh? You're just trying to find an excuse.
Jonah listens to this, man.
An excuse to get out of the house. Oh yeah, I'm gonna. Speed wants to record on Sunday. Yeah. We couldn't do it Friday like we normally do. I have to come over on the weekend, and I was going to take a cart this time.
She said to me on the way, when I was just about to leave today, she goes, why don't you just do fortnightly shows? Can't you your 25 listeners wait for 2 weeks to listen to you guys?
No, Jonah, they need us every week. Where their lifeblood, where their support system
gets them through the tough times.
There's at least 27 people that need us.
You told me it was 16 3 minutes ago.
It changes on an hourly basis. Whatever number it comes straight to my head.
Because they saw MacGruber and they're like, we're tuning in for this.
Yeah, because as soon as I write down MacGruber in the title, they're going to be all over this.
Speed comes up with the titles. He comes up. I've never even been asked about a title. It's actually a surprise to me every Wednesday when it drops. I'm like, and that's the most exciting thing for me is actually to see what has he come up with.
Is me editing the show and cutting out all your crap.
My crap? Like what?
We're currently watching this, sort of when you record it, you can see the wavelengths coming up on the screen. Now, I actually know from looking at it what the wavelength looks like when you say
Oh, really?
Yes, because you say it so many times in our show. And
motherfucker, I'd never say
Yeah, you don't hear it because I cut them all out. Your ums and
See, now...
And I know what it looks like. I know what the wavelength of you saying that looks like because I have to chop it out.
I've never said in my life, man. That's rubbish. And
there we go.
But I did that for comedic timing.
Oh, really? Yeah. Why couldn't you have helped out on MacGruber and given them some case in points for some of their comedic timing?
Anyway, just quickly going back to it. Benny, our boy Benny, we've known for a long time. He always said that he liked Oh, sorry. Okay, we're not saying anymore, but he liked the Andy Samberg Hot Rod film.
Yes.
And I always said I like the MacGruber film. But when I watch them back, I'm thinking that they are pretty much on par. They're both very, very funny. And yet you disagree. Because the Hot Rod film has got ridiculous moments in it.
Yeah, Hot Rod does have the stupid. It does bring a lot of the stupid. But I don't know. It's like I said. Once again, it comes down to those sketch movies. You know, I like a comedy that goes somewhere. You know, what I mean, like that tells a story. I like something that has, something that in the end, like you feel like they're actually getting somewhere. Like one of my favorite comedies is, and it's the one to point out the difference between the English comedy and the American comedy is Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yes,
because
that's so funny.
It's brilliantly funny. Yeah, but it's one of those movies where when you're expecting it to be funny, it's actually quite serious. And like not scary, but they do throw some stuff in there like that, or the action in there. But then when you're expecting it to be a serious or something scary is going to happen, that's when they throw in the joke. And that's what I really liked. And the movie sort of progresses and it flows and it has the story and it sort of it's going somewhere and funny things happen along the way. This is like that movie feels like it's just trying to throw jokes at you and making you laugh.
That's right, yeah.
It's like with a good comedian, like the guy that just stands there and tells one-liner dad jokes, like, yeah, I'll laugh at a couple of them.
You like Rodney Dangerfield, though.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. But like, as far as watching like a whole set of his, you wouldn't sit there and like, oh, I'm going to watch that again, I'm going to watch that again.
Okay.
Whereas when you get into, like...
The storytelling.
Yes. Yeah, if you tell a good story, the comedy comes in the story.
Yeah.
Like one of our favourite... This is actually the topic we're going to segue to.
Yeah.
One of our favourite comedians, or stand-up shows, and everyone sort of our age loves it, is the old Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, yes.
And the stories he tells of his dad.
Yes.
At the barbecue.
That's right.
And it's just a story. It's literally a story, and that's what's funny. Like that's what it's not. He's not throwing jokes in there. He's just telling a story, but the story's funny. That's what I like from a comedy.
I totally get that, and that's why The Office is funny, and that's why Shaun the Sheep is funny. I get the. I guess you might call it hypocrisy of me liking the film, like a MacGruber, when I bag out the other American. I get that. But there is a diamond in the rough sometimes, and I feel that is someone.
Everyone has a guilty pleasure.
Yes.
You have some movies that are just dumb that you enjoy. There's always going to be films like that, but that one wasn't one for me. I'm just going to say that. I don't know if I made it clear enough. That wasn't one for me.
All right. So what's the next movie we're going to watch together?
I think we need to watch Notting Hill.
You're
going to watch. You don't want to watch it, but like you can't just come over here and just do what you want, just drink your beers and leave, and make me watch that steaming pile when I got a headache. You are going to watch Notting Hill, and you're going to enjoy it. But Steve, I want to get into it. Like, just now that we're on the topic, comedians.
Yes.
Who would you rank as your top? Let's say top 5 stand-up comedians.
I have not prepared for this.
Yes. That's why I thought I'd just throw it.
Yeah, thank you. And you always throw it to me. I would say, look, Eddie Murphy, obviously for our generation, like you just mentioned, those 2 shows that he put on were brilliant.
Yeah, Raw and Delirious.
Raw and Delirious. When we were, I probably watched it when I was 15, probably the first time, 16, when it came out on VHS over here or DVD. Who knows how it came over? Yeah. We obviously weren't old enough to watch it in 1983 or something, whenever it was recorded. Yeah. But that was the first one. Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Those 3 or 4 shows that he did.
Science,
Animals, Fame, and then he did another one. He did another more after his success.
Yeah.
Which I didn't like as much. Yeah. Because I feel he's changed.
There was one that I didn't enjoy that much. Yeah. Of the other 3, I really enjoyed those specials.
That's right.
And the one thing that just bugged me was that he was drinking Fosters the whole time.
He was, that's right,
oh, mate, no one drinks Fosters. Yeah. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like when you're drunk and everything tastes good because you're just drunk? So I was in Germany and we were hammered. We'd been at the Start Beer Festival, so they brew this special beer for the day. And I've knocked off way too much. And I'm obnoxiously drunk. And I just went, you know what? I want to go to an Australian bar and I want to drink a Foster's.
I've never had a Foster's.
Yeah, I never had it. We don't, like I said, for a handful of listeners from overseas, we don't sell Foster's in Australia. We just make it and send it to you. It's not Australian. It's terrible.
Is it made here at all anymore?
No, I don't know one pub you could buy. No. I don't even know like a bottle shop you could go buy.
No.
But we all know the logo and we all love it. Like there's something about it, I don't know why, it just feels Australian, but it's terrible beer. Like so I went to this Aussie pub to have a Foster's when I was already hammered, and I hated it. It was like every mouthful was just grim.
Yeah.
It was really, really bad. That led to a very, very bad and very hungover Spee flying home from Germany, and I've got a lot of good plane stories. I'll tell you them at another time. But for now, back onto the comedians.
So what have I
Ricky
said?
Gervais, you got Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, and I don't know if Spee's flexing his calf because I keep looking at it now, but it's bulging, man.
It's pressing against the
Yeah,
couch.
it's huge.
Yeah.
The third thing, I don't have too many favorite stand-up comedians exactly because I don't watch a lot of stand-up comedy. There used to be a show on the old days called Live at Jongleurs. Did you ever watch Live at Jongleurs?
No.
It's on. The reason I used to watch it is because we used to watch WCW Nitro on a Saturday night, and then Live at Jongleurs was on UK TV straight after it.
There you go.
And it was one of those things we just came across. And it was an English show, kind of like 3 comedians in half an hour, and they kind of had their... And there was a... Yeah, they had an 8 minutes, and they would talk about funny story, and it was really, really funny. I think it's one of those iconic places, like in America, you know,
Comedy store and stuff.
in a comedy store. It's similar to that. So they had some really fun, but I never remember the names.
Yeah.
But there's some really funny stand-ups there, and then also, you know, there's Kevin Hart. And I'll tell you what, I think, and me and my friends talk about this, or at least me and a friend talk about this, is Kevin Hart, is he funny or is he not funny?
He is funny. Now, I know where, I feel like I know where you're going with this
Okay.
one, because I've seen Kevin Hart, like, I got on him early.
Yeah.
You know, like, I saw his specials, I watched him on Netflix when I was in Germany.
Yep.
And then we even went and saw him about a year and a half
did
ago.
you?
Yeah, went and
Oh,
saw him in
that's
Melbourne.
cool.
It's, Kevin Hart has, like, he does the stories, tells stories. He
Stories.
has, every show is exactly the same.
Okay.
He has a system of telling the stories, and then does his little no God, oh, no,
Yes,
and he does the
yes.
little and he does all these little side voices and stuff. And every joke, like if you actually watch all 3 shows back to back, and then the most recent one he did, it's just like wow, he knows what he's doing now, and now he's almost becoming a caricature of himself.
Yes,
You know, and, like,
yes.
now he's just plugging in. Like he's still funny, don't get me wrong. Like,
Yeah.
he's still very, and to come up with the premises and this and that, and it's still very funny. But it's just now you look at it and you're like, yeah, now you've.
It's got a formula now.
He's got a formula.
Yeah, that's
and I
right.
think that's almost the reason like why Eddie Murphy never went back to stand-up. Because once you started doing movies and this and that and your life changes, it is then hard to go back and do... Like, because stand-up comedy is very, very hard.
Yeah.
And that needs to be your sole focus. If you're a comedian, you do it and that's it. Once you start getting into everything else, like your movies and that sort of stuff, you're just not as sharp as you were. And so I think that's almost like he's just now... He knows what works. He has a formula, and he's just going through the motions.
Yeah.
You know, it's like almost like with music. You know, like I was a huge fan of the Black Eyed Peas when they first came out.
Yep.
Like, Will.I.am, I thought, was a genius. Like I liked their stuff when it was just the boys, and they were just a sort of a
in the original
boy-
day.
yeah, big boy group,
Yeah,
and then
they
they
were good. They were
had a
good.
little hip hop crew, and then they went from there. And then they brought in Fergie, and then it just became plug and play music.
Yeah.
Like it was like have this beat, say something silly, blah blah blah.
It
blah,
became
blah,
pop music.
Yeah, and then it kind of lost its edge
Yeah,
to me, and I
it
think
did.
that's what's happened with Kevin Hart. He's been doing it for so long now, and now he's starting to just sort of like play off reputation.
That's what I was talking about Ricky Gervais, is that the first few was when he was coming up. Like, he had the offers out and the extras might have been coming, but he was still in the daily struggle. And stand-up comedy works, I guess, when you can relate to your audience.
Yeah.
You know, when you become Ricky Gervais now, what can you tell us now,
Yeah.
You know? What can you tell us about...
you still, I mean, you still go through struggles and stuff like that, but it's just
Yeah,
making
okay.
everything relatable.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, there's one of my favourite jokes from Dave Hughes, who I don't even find that funny.
No, I don't find him funny at
But
all.
he just, he did his first run of his whole career to start off with.
We saw him
about
at
him being
Bevy.
a doll bludger and stuff. You know?
Yeah.
And then he goes, like, the next time he was doing a show, he came to tour a place, and some guy just yelled out, he goes, oh, how are you going to survive now that you're not doing jokes about being on the dole? And he goes, yeah, that really keeps me up at night. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, I don't have that struggle anymore to laugh about, but, he still had a pretty successful career from there.
Yeah, well, Kevin Hart, I mean, I feel, I watched that one. What's that one where it starts off with that little film at the start, him and Halle Berry?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you see that one? It's quite recent-ish.
I know the one. They always do the stand-up comedy ones. They almost like sort of knocked it off from that Eddie Murphy one.
When
start of
that's right,
Raw,
the second one,
where he does the little kids video.
Yeah,
which is actually, I think that was the debut of Samuel L. Jackson in the film.
Oh, when he's on the couch?
Yeah, he's the uncle.
He's the uncle, yeah.
So
I could pick up.
Yeah. But it's one of those ones where it's I think a lot of comedians now put those little things in there, and that little video at the start, or like us on tour and this and that. I just skip that.
Well, this one with Kevin Hart's fully cinematic.
Yeah.
So it's about him getting to his show, and he's with Halle Berry,
Yeah.
and he's like a Bond kind of character.
Yeah.
I felt that was funnier than his stand-up.
All right.
Yeah. The stand-up was good, but he does a hey, and oh no.
It's
thing.
like there's in a few movies. He was in a movie called Think Like a Man.
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
Yeah, it was one of those ones. Yeah, it's on. Like you have it on like a hard drive or something. You watch it. This is,
Okay.
It's a good, easy. This will kill 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then they did the second movie. Now in the first movie, he's that good comedic relief. You know, like he just pops in. He's only got a few little. You need to have that little funny guy.
Right.
The second movie's pretty much like he was obviously a bigger star by the second movie, and the second movie's almost entirely based around his character. It's like, oh, it's too much of that.
Yeah.
You know, and like so that was annoying.
Yeah. Well, I think Kevin Hart. I think he'd be hilarious. I think it'd be really, really funny, and I'd love to have him sort of like. If you sat at the table at dinner or you had a little bit of a get together, a party, I think he'll be really funny. He was really some of his best work I thought is when they did that roast.
Yes,
and he was the host of it.
Yeah.
There's Justin Bieber.
He's good at that sort of
He was
stuff.
off the cuff. It was very and he drilled Snoop. And I remember, I don't laugh a lot watching TV, unless I'm watching MacGruber, but I'm watching, and I was laughing out. I was lolling. I don't use that term, but I was lolling, laughing out loud for the kids at something when he was drilling Snoop, or he was that. I think that's when he's his funniest. When he's just rolling with his comedy.
I enjoy his interplay with even in the not so much the actual film. But that Central Intelligence movie...
Yeah, with him and The Rock.
Him and The Rock. Like, you just watch them do their promotional tour stuff. Like, the stuff between him and The Rock is very, very good. But yeah, just as I said, as far as stand-up, I think he's lost it. But the one that I sort of love, and I still need to see one of the stand-up specials from Netflix, but I've always been a big Dave Chappelle guy.
Oh, yeah, I've watched those.
Yeah.
And they're good. It takes 5 minutes to warm up.
Yeah.
Like, once he gets going, he's very good.
Yeah, because I've seen one of them, because he did tour here a couple of years ago, and as an ambulance goes past.
Yeah.
I
feel like I'm in Salisbury again. Or something.
These are ambulances.
Ambulances,
they're not
police
cop cars. Yeah. We live near a hospital, and there's a lot of old people around here, so it's a private hospital too. So, yeah, the Dave Chappelle stand-up, like he did one of those live shows in Adelaide. So I went and saw it.
That's cool.
And so then I've seen that once. I saw a couple of clips from the Netflix one. I'm like, I know that bit. I've seen that bit. But then, yeah, I just really enjoyed his storytelling too.
Get onto that. That's really good. He did 2, like back-to-back, I think.
Yeah.
And it's part of the same program. Very funny.
Yeah, but even the other ones, like the original ones, like Killing Me Softly, and there was another one he did in San Francisco. And they were just some of the best storytelling you've ever seen for stand-up. You know what I mean? So that's what I really enjoy, is when you get someone that can really weave a story together. So you get sort of stuck, you think of it as being a bit. Yeah. But then it's a whole 5, 6, 7 minute story. You're just like, wow, that's really good.
Okay. Well, think of Dave Chappelle. Late one night, Jonah and I put on Netflix, and we saw 25 or 30 years, whatever, a celebration of Def Jam comedy or Def Comedy Jam, whatever they call it themselves. Not funny.
Not funny.
And Dave Chappelle was on it, and I think Kevin Hart might have been on it. Martin Lawrence was the host.
Yeah, but you remember those old school ones, some of those jokes don't hold up. 90s stand-up comedy doesn't hold up particularly well.
That whole style of,
it's like that one, that Simpsons joke they did where they had the comedian, the black comedian, he goes, white guys drive like this, and black guys drive like this. It's that's the basis of a lot of hacky jokes in the 90s.
That's right.
Especially a lot of those comedy shows. So I tend to throw a lot of that out.
That was, but they were, and it was a big time, obviously,
So that's what I loved about Dave Chappelle, that he took the piss out of that sort of comedian when he had that role in Nutty Professor.
Right.
That was the thing that Eddie Murphy put him on.
That's right.
And Eddie Murphy had him play one of those sort of comedians. Hacky, comedians that just try to roast people.
Well, it made me find that Martin Lawrence, who I really enjoy in a couple films, not many films. The Big Mama's House is dreadful and stuff. But he was funny in a couple of things. Nothing to Lose, Life. And he's revered in his circles. I just don't find him very funny.
As a stand-up comedian, no. But did you ever watch the TV show?
What?
He had a TV show called Martin.
I think I
named,
I may have known.
But that was actually very good.
Was it?
I'll give that credit. That was very funny. It was in that sort of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air sort of vein. It was very funny. Are you going to screw your face on the Fresh Prince now?
No, Fresh Prince, but it just made me think of... Remember a show... I remember when I was a kid, I don't know if it's funny now, but do you remember a show called Hanging with Mr. Cooper?
Oh, hell yeah.
And then, the big tall lad, he played for the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah,
MacGruber.
played for the Warriors in like, there was 2 episodes where he got a
got a
tryout for the
10-day
Warriors.
contract.
Yeah.
And
he had a problem with like Chris Mullin and Tim Hardaway.
Charles Barkley dunks in. He's like, welcome to the NBA. Yeah.
It was great.
Was that funny?
That was great.
Is it still funny today, though?
Probably not.
No.
Most sitcoms don't hold up well.
Yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, like I said, even like I said, we've gone through my love of Cosby Show, and there's some episodes that are really funny still, and there's some of them are just like, isn't like it.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you're churning out half an hour every week, it's not always going to be funny, much like this episode we're doing right now.
Oh, you don't find this funny?
Oh, we're doing okay. We're doing
I'm
just
blaming the
dusty.
hungover thing.
Oh, I'm just dusty. But yeah, no, and so I think the last stand-up comedian I wanted to discuss is Jim Jeffries. Where do you stand on Jim Jeffries?
Oh, the Australian guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
because I find people really love him or they hate him. There's no middle ground with him.
No, I'm somewhere in the middle. I get it.
My point.
I'm sorry. Okay, we can edit that out. What's your point?
Well, I think he's brilliant, and his storytelling is very good. Like some of it's really crass, and some of it. He has 2 bits that he does. Like the story, he tells a story. It's a half an hour bit. It's like sort of what he closed the show with. It's a half an hour story about taking a childhood friend of his who has muscular dystrophy to a brothel.
I've not heard the story.
It is, I recommend anyone look it up on YouTube. It is one of the best told stories. Like it's very dark, it's very blue, it's very, very crass. But just the way the story goes and the way he's learnt how to tell this story, it's just one of the funnier things. Like he even goes off to a couple little side tangents, this and there, but he brings it all back together, and it's just a really well told story. So I really enjoy that.
I watched his stand up. It was called something about the something about America. He's talking about the American bit of gun laws and stuff. Yeah. It's quite recent, and maybe last 18 months, 2 years. That was okay.
Yep.
That was okay.
Oh, his gun control bit is really good.
It was really good, but is it funny, or is it just because it's true? I mean, what he says is quite true.
But that's the thing. Like that's where good comedy comes from. It's got to be relatable.
Yeah,
you do agree with most of what he says.
I agreed, but I didn't laugh a lot. But I disagreed with it.
But that's the whole thing. That's what I enjoyed about this. Like, it doesn't need to be. That's the issue that I have with MacGruber. It was a spot fest.
It was a spot fest.
So it's like, okay, we always use the example for wrestling. It's like if you just go move. Yeah, it's kind of cool, and you might go, yeah, I enjoyed that, but you don't get invested.
Don't compare MacGruber to... I hate that wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate that type of wrestling.
Yes, exactly.
I hate that. Oh,
Steve,
don't compare
that was like you just enjoying like a
No, don't say that.
Like 2 little guys just doing heaps of flips.
Oh, probably in Japan or somewhere. Oh,
that's
God.
That is what you just did, try to make me watch and enjoy.
I'm sorry, I apologise.
Yeah, now you know the area, guys. So you didn't tell a story, it doesn't have an arc, characters didn't invest, they were just always just throwing shit. Like just trying to get something to laugh, and like it's like throwing gag, trying to get you to laugh. It's not going to work. You need to tell a story and let the comedy come from within the story. Like there's this other stand-up comedian that I really love, Joey Diaz, and he would tell stories from his childhood and stuff like that. And I saw one bit, it was about his mother and his mother's funeral and stuff like that. It's a 12-minute bit. There's points in it where I'm almost crying. Not from laughter. Sad.
Yeah.
Like he just taps into your emotions, but then brings it back. So it doesn't need to be make me laugh. Like I'd rather than build it up to 3 good laughs.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to get constant chuckles.
No, I get that.
And that's what you made me want.
I'm sorry. It's not like that, folks. Well, okay, Speed's making a half decent point here, but he's only half alright. Like, he
sounds like a peanut butter.
He's only half right. But Jerry Seinfeld. What's the Jerry Seinfeld one? Jerry Seinfeld. I love the show, and I never really appreciated his stand up.
Yeah.
But he does like a 30-year on. This is where I started, and it's very good. You'd like it.
I do enjoy
really
Seinfeld. I really enjoy the comedians in cars getting coffee.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Until, as Jerry does with everything, he just monetized it, and now it's on Netflix or something. So now you can't get it online anymore, which is really annoying.
But he's worth $1 billion. Why does he care, man?
Oh, because he's greedy.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So that's going to be it for today, guys. We'll get you guys to chime in. Who are your favourite comedians? Who have we missed out on our lists. We didn't really make it like a definitive list like we normally do.
No.
But we've just tapped into what are your thoughts on Kevin Hart? Is he overrated? Is he underrated? Is he just good? Is he doing too much now?
Yeah.
I think he's just doing.
I think he's spreading himself too thin.
Yeah, and like I said, he's got talent. He's doing the movie. He's doing well. But just I find him now. I enjoy him in movies more so than his. I like his old stand up.
Yeah.
And the newer stuff, I'm not enjoying so much. But you guys give us your feedback, thoughts on Jim Jeffries. Anyone we missed out? I know there's a lot of comedians we missed out there. Like I said, anyone from
Louis C.K's been in the news lately.
Oh Jesus,
Louis C.K's been in the news.
Out of the news. He needs some time out of the sun. That's the thing. Like one of my favourite comedians was Bill Cosby.
Of course.
He could tell a great story, and then by the same token, I really enjoyed Richard Pryor. And they tell very similar stories, but just one swears a lot, one doesn't.
Yeah.
But that's going to be it for today, guys. If we've missed anyone, tell us. We'll put it on the Facebook. We'll talk about it next week. But for Speed Carolina, staying goodbye. For Steve Burrows.
See you later.
I've got a hangover, and we're out of here. Peace.
Peace.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.